Welcome to Tuesday Newsday, your #1 resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. Oh, we finally got it, of course, on the perfect day. The PlayStation VR 2 design has been announced, as well as some new details on the headset. Minecraft is now available for the Quest, Apple's AR and VR headset is reportedly coming this year, and some great news for Valve Index users. That and so much more. Also, quick announcement, in my Discord server, I'm now hosting monthly VR game nights and meetups, so come on into an awesome VR community if you're interested. But now let's just get right into the news. So let's start this week off with something a little creepy, but also really interesting, and something that just should be known in general. How would you feel if every word you say with a VR headset on could be extracted? Essentially, that you could be eavesdropped on 24/7, but not only that, your gender, speech content, and your identity could be extracted from your VR headset using your voice, even if your mic has been turned off and even removed. Well, this is a thing. Researchers from Rutgers University created an attack FACEMIC that captures extremely subtle changes in gyroscope and accelerometer measurements from a VR headset, without a microphone at all, using only these subtle sensor movements that are caused by moving your mouth while talking. Someone, or really anyone that knows what to do with the data, could know everything about you. FACEMIC uses a deep learning approach that analyzes micro movements, and not just one VR headset is affected, it's all of them, from cardboard to Quest 2 to Index. Thing is, for some people, you may not care at all, but in actuality, this is a pretty serious security vulnerability. And here's what the researchers had to say about the study and a possible solution. Quote, "By analyzing the facial dynamics captured with the motion sensors, we found that both cardboard headsets and high-end headsets suffer from security vulnerabilities, revealing a user's sensitive speech and speaker information without permission. And given our findings, manufacturers of VR headsets should reconsider additional security measures, such as adding ductile materials in the foam replacement cover and the headband, which may attenuate the speech-associated facial vibrations that would be captured by the built-in accelerometer and gyroscope." End quote. Extremely interesting, and not exactly something I would have thought of as being an immediate security threat. But here you go. Probably one of the most widely requested apps of all time on the Quest has been Minecraft. Multiple huge threads have been created for years to try and get Microsoft to finally make a standalone VR version of Minecraft, but for whatever reason, they seem to have little interest in the project or have just been dragging their feet. So the community took it in their own hands to get Minecraft on the Quest 2. This is QuestCraft, full-on Java Minecraft using a custom wrapper allowing you to play the Java version of the game on Quest. You still need to own a version of Java Minecraft and log in after following a few steps to install it, and a few mods are recommended to get better performance, but it does work and goes to show that the community will usually do the things that big companies won't. I still think that eventually we will get some sort of official Minecraft, but I don't see it yet, so this is the best that we've got. Right now, the performance isn't great, ranging from 30 to 80 FPS usually, but it works, and with some tweaking and mods and maybe an iron stomach, you can finally play a block game on the Quest 2 that isn't Beat Saber. So finally, I have been long awaiting the PlayStation VR 2, and on the perfect day, on Tuesday, 2/22/2022, the PSVR 2 has been fully revealed. Well, almost fully. This is the final design of Sony's next VR headset. Kinda looks like a mashup between a Quest 2 and a Rift S, and overall I'm digging the aesthetics of the device. But other than the looks of the new headset, we also got some new details on some of its features. I'll just give you a quick rundown of the overall specs, because the more I think about them, the more I realize that this headset may be a bigger deal than we think, even for PC VR users. The PSVR 2 is packing dual 2000 by 2040 resolution per eye OLED displays, with a refresh rate of 90 to 120 Hz and a field of view of 110 degrees. These specs alone, as a package, pretty much beat like 90% of all consumer VR headsets out there. Not to mention, the headset is OLED, meaning contrast ratios will be fantastic compared to the LCD panels that we've become accustomed to. But that's not all, of course. Inside-out tracking, eye tracking, which will be a huge game changer, headset haptic feedback, and the awesome haptic/force feedback triggers found on the PS5 controller, all with a single USB-C PC cable to connect at all. But with this latest announcement, we got a few new features that have me really excited. We can see that the new face gasket system is a little different from the usual foam that comes on nearly all headsets, instead opting for a rubber or silicone system that will probably be a little more hygienic long-term and softer on the face in general short-term. And this sort of modification is something I already do to all of my headsets, so it's nice to finally see one coming the way I like it from the factory. IPD and focal length adjustment are confirmed, containing a scope and dial for focal range and IPD. And one of the big features Sony talked about was the vent, which may seem minor, but a lot of thought and pride went into this design, obviously. Repurposing the headset cooling for more than its immediate use, the PSVR 2 features headset ventilation that prevents or stops headset lens fogging from occurring at all, which is a very welcomed upgrade. One of the worst immersion killers is lens fog when trying to peer into a virtual world. The only things really left to reveal regarding PSVR 2 is the price and release date, and I have no clue if this is going to be a $300 device or a $1,000 device, but I can probably bet somewhere between the $300 to $500 range. Give or take, of course, and likely sometime this year or early 2023. But there's something even more interesting here. This headset is sounding so good on paper. I wonder what would happen to the PC VR landscape if this headset had any sort of really good PC support, which doesn't really sound like something Sony would do out of the box, but it kind of makes sense if they did. And it wouldn't make any sense if Sony did anything to prevent people from making some sort of Steam VR driver for it. The whole industry is using an OpenXR standard at this point for this exact purpose, to make hardware and software work together easily or more easily across the board. So I can imagine if Sony doesn't make the PSVR 2 officially compatible with the PC, someone else will. And I really can't imagine Sony trying to block this. I mean, if they do, we'll have some serious issues, because at that point, that's the equivalent of Sony selling a monitor and it only working with the PlayStation. Like I said, I just can't imagine that happening. And if we do get good compatibility, would that make the PSVR 2 hypothetically the best PC VR headset as well? I don't know, we'll just have to see. All I know is I'm really excited and keeping my eyes out for that release date and price, of course. But now it's time for a meme break! Are you into VR racing sims? Are you tired of your shoddy driving not getting punished enough? Well, I got just the thing for you.
原来坐在家里也能出车祸。
And now, back to the news. So this could have been the meme break, but I figured I'd just cover this part seriously. Mark Zuckerberg recently had an all-hands-on-deck meeting because Horizon, essentially Meta's VR chatter rec room, just broke 300,000 users total. And I thought this number looked odd to be boasting about for some reason, but that became clear later on when Guy, creator of Virtual Desktop, tweeted a response to their big announcement. Quote, "Virtual Desktop is a paid app, requires a PC, didn't have a Super Bowl ad or host a Foo Fighters concert, and has reached that number on Quest alone. Just saying." End quote. Oh, well, maybe once Horizon gets legs. A pretty massive community hack from Basti and 3than have opened up the capability for the Quest 2 to do two things that it's seriously missing. One, talk to friends through Discord, and two, listen to Spotify music. This is part of the Oculus tool that they created, allowing you to unlink your Facebook account from the Quest 2 before unlinking Facebook was a feature. The biggest thing that this hack allows is it enables background audio. Usually opening up a VR app kills any background 2D application, but this allows the audio streams to stay open while in VR. Big up to the Oculus team for this. I hope they keep bringing new features to the platform and pushing Quest to its limits. The SIMULA 1, an open source Linux-based PC VR headset that I've talked about quite a few times now, has made a big change to their plans moving forward, deciding to kill their upcoming Kickstarter campaign that was going to launch sometime this month, instead opting for a direct-to-consumer approach in order to save on Kickstarter fees and even drop the overall price of the headset by $100 across the board. The price now amounting to $2,699 for the full pre-order deposit and $34.99 later for MSRP, shipping by Q4 2022 and latest by the end of 2023. One of the concerns for dropping the Kickstarter is that they may have not met their $1 million+ Kickstarter goal in the 60 days that Kickstarter gives to reach their goal. So this is an easier way for them just to ship the headsets and actually manufacture them. But it does take some of the protections that Kickstarter gives gives away from the buyer, instead relying on a week-long refund period for the new pre-order system. Either way, still curious to see where SIMULA goes. Great news for Valve Index users this week. Valve has announced that iFixit will be the official place to buy Index replacement parts, as well as parts for Valve's new Steam Deck. And this is a very welcomed update, as my Index is pretty far past warranty, and I've been known to be pretty rough on my Index in the past, leading to, broken parts. It's nice to know that maybe if I break one of the speakers or that pesky little clip on the back of the headset, that I can likely just order a new part without going through Valve customer support. This also is great for people that are Index owners in general. It doesn't seem like Valve has a new headset on the way in the immediate horizon, instead focusing on the Steam Deck's launch right now, so at the very least you can keep your Index in tip-top shape as we await whatever's next. Latest Apple reports state that a crucial second phase test has been finished on the EVT2, Apple's code name for its upcoming AR/VR device, originally set to launch this year before reportedly getting delayed for heat issues. This headset supposedly rocks an astounding 4K per eye, micro OLED display, eye tracking, 2 main processors, Wi-Fi 6E, color pass-through, 15 cameras. I mean, it just sounds like an absolute beast, and if all of the reports are correct, which they do line up so far, we can expect a debut, or at the very least some sort of reveal of the EVT2 towards the end of 2022 or the first half of 23. If there is one weird headset that I'm excited for, it's definitely Apple's mystery device. It's probably going to be overpriced and expensive, but it seems to be packed with features that'll make mixed reality really great, and it's something that Apple already does well with ARKit. But now it's time for question of the week from Devil's Advocate. Is it still worth buying a Valve Index to this day, or should we be waiting for further announcements? Well, this sort of depends. I still use a Valve Index almost every day as my main VR headset. I love the microphone and near-field speakers and how well it works with Steam VR, and I use full-body tracking just about all the time, and it works really well with that. Plus, the Knuckles are still my favorite VR controller. I say it's still worth it, but only if you really want base station's full-body tracking and the Knuckles. If you just want to play some VR games, the Reverb G2 V2 or Quest 2 will work just fine and are a lot cheaper, and I don't see any immediate big announcements for similarly priced or capable headsets in the PC range anytime soon, besides maybe the Cambria. But we don't know much about that either. So short answer, yes. Long answer, maybe. It depends on your situation and what you really want. And I usually talk a lot on this topic in my Twitch streams, which I usually do after these videos, so come on by and ask that same question and I'll go really in depth on it. But that was question of the week. Leave your own down below and I may just answer yours next. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out.